number 3. Welcome to the Thunderdome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with our guest, Lo.
Stop it.
I'm just kidding. We are back for part number 4 of 5. Negotiation. 5 core values to a healthy relationship, or 5 core values to a relationship in general, I guess. Negotiation. Jotted down a few notes to get us started because it's been a while, and talking is not easy.
Yeah, it's not that, but we've been really busy, really.
So, bargaining, the reasonable ask, both parties being willing participants in the deal, the art of the deal, peace as the ultimate goal, and be each other's peace, particularly because the world is already waging war on you two. You don't need to be battling each other. That last one was my thought, particularly. So, bargaining, reasonable asks. So, I mean, how do you want to break it down, baby chubs?
I just work evenly, I guess. Like, if you were to try to make your partner happy, but at the same time, there's got to be like standards and rules, I believe.
Standards and rules. Yes, there should be standards and rules. I think it's more.
You're not always going to agree with your partner, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is like, try to kind of walk in a path where you don't create. You want to create a smooth surface. You don't want to walk into a rough surface. So when you make decisions or trying to walk into your peace, as you want to say, you not always want to give in to your partner. You be like, well, why is it that you always have to do what I say you're gonna do, and why you always gonna do what I say you're gonna do? Things like that. It's
Wow. Okay. So Psychology Today has a actual excerpt for it. So, negotiate, don't compromise, is what it says. Interesting. The negotiation process requires that you keep an open mind to be willing to listen to your partner's point of view. You may have legitimate reasons for what they are doing or saying that you find unacceptable, and you have to acknowledge such if you are going to move the relationship in the right direction. Okay, yeah. So, acknowledging that you're upset with someone or that their behavior is unacceptable, I guess that would be the first process or the starting process for a negotiation, because I guess that's like what a whole relationship is a big negotiation. Like negotiating whether it be household chores, finances, social practices, all that stuff is negotiating. So I guess the goal has to be the goal has to be the same for the both of you. So not in the same like senses and you want the same thing, but like you want to reach a agreement. The goal has to be to reach an agreement. So I mean, if you're gonna be caught at an impasse, that's not a negotiation. That is making demands,
right.
and digging your feet in. Sorry, I mean,
you're not trying to make like where you're always gonna be okay with a lot of things. If you're not okay with something, like you gotta speak your mind. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're in a partner, it's no longer your decision. It's a decision that has to do with two people. And there's a problem that a lot of us do is that we grow up not knowing, like, oh, whenever you go have a husband, always got to be submit to him. Every time you have a wife, you got to always submit to her. In a sense, yes, but that's what relationships are. If you guys cannot keep up with that, so we have a lot of people, just be single. You know what I mean? Because it's one hard task that a lot of people are not willing to give up that kind of freedom.
And I guess the other point would be you have to be in a position where you are, where you can negotiate from a position of, I don't want to say power. It's more of respect, because you have to be respected in the relationship in order for the negotiation to move forward productively. I think that if one or the other lacks respect for each other, it's more of the one who lacks respect is trying to walk all over the other because they don't respect them. And so as far as like the men's side, you have to be a man worthy of respecting. So when you say this is a problem, it needs to stop, she will look at you and go, oh, well, I need to figure out what I need to do to fix this so he can be happy. Or else you run into the problem of, you telling her this is a problem, it needs to stop. And then, well, who are you to be telling me what I need to do? This is my life and da-da-da-da. And that's the wrong way to look at it, because if they're already looking at it and you're already in that relationship, it's not their life anymore. You're agreeing to merge lives. And so your decisions affect her and her decisions affect you. And you need to be
addressed.
Well, you need to be a person worthy of respecting both of you in order to be having productive negotiations.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like a lot of people be like, I want this kind of freedom and I want to go out, I want to do this, just anything. If you don't let your partner know what the issue is or anything like that, you have just created division. Because then that's when people want to do stuff behind a person's back and be like, well, you know what? I don't have to tell you anything anymore. I'm just going to do my own thing. That's not healthy. The whole point of being in a relationship is to be able to work as a team, work together to help us make better decisions. I had shared a little bit of my past, but I was a total wreck, with my decision making. I was not communicating. I was, I'm just going to do me. And that's what me and him just started off being together. You know what? I got to go drop the kids off. I don't have to tell anybody when I go take off or whatever. I don't got to tell anybody anything. But the issue that he had is like, look, you're taking the girls out, you're doing these things. What if something ever happens to you and I'm not even aware of? I need to know where you're at. And people think like, oh, he just doesn't want me to go out. He doesn't want me to do this. I have to tell him everything. That's not the case. A lot of men are there for your protection. And that's my point of view as a woman. I feel like if the man's doing a job to protect you, it's all because of protection. A lot of women want to go out and stuff, and then how many of this, men take advantage of them when their husbands are not around, their boyfriends are not around, and then accidents happen. You know what I mean? And it's because you had let yourself you have let yourself go in a position where you're not.
You've put yourself in a position.
Yeah. That's what you're
trying to say.
Yes. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm half asleep. I was like, he's like, come on, let's get up and let's do this. So
I had to wake her up for her own podcast.
I know. I mean,
hey, you got a show to host. Get up.
Yes. That's part of negotiation, I guess. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm trying to we get it together.
That's a good point, though, about communication when we have that issue. Communication is probably a very, very important subset of negotiation. I forgot about that. I was going to write that down too. I was like, what, communication. I remember writing something about that, but I didn't. But yeah, it's probably a very important subset of negotiation. You have to be able to communicate well in order to negotiate properly. And I don't know how it is for y'all's relationship, but for ours, I honestly, sometimes she doesn't even know what she's saying. Like, she doesn't know what she's trying to convey or communicate. So I'll have to sit there and I'll have to repeat back her own argument for her in order to see if I'm understanding properly. And so I'll go through a few arguments like, is this what you're trying to say? And she'll be like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, is this what you're trying to say? Yes. Okay. That's a really good communication tactic. If you can repeat your partner's statement or argument back to them in a way that they find acceptable, then you have heard them out properly. A lot of people, how's the saying goes, what you always say is not what's always that's heard, or what you say is not, what is it? There's what you say and there's what's heard. So, you can say something and they're like, oh, they think you're saying something else. And it causes so much like cross communication where you're just talking past one another, and it's just, oh gosh, it's such a headache.
Yeah, and then sometimes people just feel like you're walking on eggshells because you gotta you gotta tell everybody your every move, and that's how I felt for a long time until he said look, I'm not here to be your biggest enemy. I'm not here to be your enemy. I'm not here to make you feel like you got to obey all my rules, because these are not mine. These are ours. You have your set of rules. I have my set of rules. I have my standards. These are my standards. This is where I stand. This is where you stand. And, I had to learn that through the years of being with him. It's like moving out here to Texas. I mean, we don't have a lot of family around. So, we hang out with coworkers. We go hang out with, just try to have fun, but it's better to have it when your partner is present, if that makes sense. Because I want him to get to know who my people are at work. I want him to know who my friends are. He has every right to know who my friends are.
Yeah, because that's a very good what's it called? As men, you have to know who the people are around your female at all times. And it's good if she's bringing you around so you can scope them out yourself, because then you can kind of get a feel of what their intentions are. You know what I'm saying? And so most dudes are not trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? We all know this. And so I'll just be like, I don't like that guy. Don't be hanging out with him no more. And she'll just, okay, that's what it is. And so in the same sense, I mean, I'm not much of a person who interacts with coworkers, and my coworkers are guys, so it doesn't really apply to me. But
the thing is, everybody has a different environment, right? So I work for, it's harder for me to have female friends nowadays, because when I try to explain to them, hey, you gotta be submissive to your partner, or try to find somebody that's really hard caring for you and not just somebody that's like a one night stand, that becomes in a lot of my arguments with a lot of people that I talk to, is because they don't understand, hey, yes, I understand you're single, but you're also telling me you want to have a relationship. But then you're over here you don't have to tell anybody your stuff. You don't got to be, he doesn't have to know anything. And that's like talking about your significant other. I could just do whatever I want. And I said, that's not the way it works. And that's like a lot of the arguments that I have with a lot of people, is that, especially with females, is that we live in a world now that I could just do whatever I please and nobody can stop me, because whatever they believe in. And I said, no, dude, that's not the way it works. Why do you have a husband and why you have a boyfriend if you want to be independent and make your own decisions? You cannot have two things. You cannot have both at the same time.
Well, we live in a world of self-indulgence.
Yeah, there you go.
Of immediate pleasures. So that's the problem. Oh my God, I'm not speaking loud enough. Yeah, we live in a world of self-indulgence and immediate pleasures, and the idea of, oh, my dude doesn't need to know what I'm doing is a common thought that's held today, which is wrong. I'll just say it outright. It's wrong. If you want a long-term relationship, and a lot of these people are young, so it's...
Even older women, baby.
Even older people?
Even older people.
I mean, I get it because...
I talk to people that are a lot older than me, and they think that they're on their 20s, and they're like, oh, I'm married, but I've been a long time. I'm not happy. Dude, you married the guy. You married the chick. Like, why? You know what I mean? And why make yourself why you make it a lot harder for yourself? If you're not ready for a relationship, why did you even get yourself into it? Because the thing is, people have become really selfish. I'm just gonna say it like that. People have become really selfish. It's my mind, not yours. It's my life. It's not yours. So why are you in a relationship then if you're just gonna be doing it with whatever you want to do? And people choose not to be in each other's peace. You want to walk into like a toxic relationship type of feel because you always want to win, but then not looking at the other person's thoughts or point of views. And even for protection, most of the time it's always protection. Men know who your friends are. Your husband knows the people, or your boyfriend. A lot of the times you guys know how to read other people. You guys are like more like your secondary nature will be like what? Protection, security, and what is it? Protection. Lost my train of thought. Anyways, you guys just come up with more into knowing what your surroundings are and why you guys feel about certain things. A lot of women, we think with emotion. Oh, I'm just mad with him today. I'm just going to do whatever I want. Okay? You're going to set yourself into a rough path right there. That's like a no-go. Because now you're going to make emotional intentions to hurt your significant other. Well, if he's not going to leave me, I'm just going to do it anyways. Okay? Well, that's what's going to cause that division, and it's gonna come a battle. It shouldn't become a battle. It's just basically my main point.
Yeah, I think we touched on negotiation like for half the last show or for half the last episode. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's really not a whole lot we can go on here about.
It's like the main things, yeah.
Yeah. I guess this is just negotiation. The cliff notes, I guess. Mm-hmm. Side notes. So, I mean, I guess that's it. So, any final or closing thoughts?
No, not really. Just continue working on those things. Like I said, this is just basically just trying to guide you guys into the path of, healthy relationships. We want people to succeed in relationships, especially right now. I mean, I know back in the day, we had like a lot of problems and stuff that we don't even know about, but.
Well, we're trying to regain the morals of the old. So
good times.
Good times.
Because, I mean, we had like a lot of people like older than us that have been together for 40, 50 years, 40 some years. We want those things. You know what I mean? Yeah. We want those things. And it's like, don't let it go just because your finances were down or because...
Well, finances is a big reason, but I think more infidelity is probably... If you poll it, it's probably more infidelity going on right now than like even maybe 10 years ago. So, and that's when we got together. It was like 10 years ago. We've been together for a hot minute. So, I think
it took a lot of us. It took both. I mean, a lot of us. It took both of us. Sorry, guys. I'm half asleep. But it took both of us to really get where we're at right now. It took patience. It took respect. It took boundaries. It took a lot. Like, what I mean, it took a lot. It took years. It took about 2-3 years before we came along this way. And then moving out here, we left our families back home. We just got our stuff. We brought our kids, and we started this new life. And every adventure, every day challenges, you want to make the best of it. And if it works, it works. Sometimes things don't work out. I get it. Some things are not there to last, but you want to make them last. So what is going to take of you to build those things with that person that you want to be with? And, people have made it really hard nowadays to make that trust and to be like, well, I want to date. I want to do this. But how I know that she's the one? Believe me, my guy, you won't know when she's the one. And, a lot of women have really broke that trust. And I think the roles have changed a little bit.
I don't know. I gotta disagree with you. I gotta disagree. I don't think that they're the one in these days and age. Okay, most people, not even women, most people today are deceivers, liars, liar, pants on fire.
I know people that they're trying to be with the girls and stuff, like they're trying to date.
But the dudes will be like, yeah, I love you, girl. You know what it is. Smash. And then be like, all right, like, I'm out. Peace. Like, we're good. And then the girls will be like, you're the only one when she has like 7 dudes that she's seeing at the same time.
But have you seen like people like...
It's too much.
But I think like men nowadays, they really want to find that person.
Yeah, the honest men. The men who are really trying to improve themselves.
I've seen really people that really... And I think it's more like people that are like on the 30s, I believe. And there's like people in their 20s at 30 want to settle down. But it's like, dude, enjoy life right now. Just enjoy life right now. Like, she'll come around. But
no, fuck that. Nope. I disagree, Chubbs. I disagree 100%. You need to be the best version of yourself. No, like the whole idea of just enjoy life, just do, and this is one of the things me and her disagree on. Like, as a man, no. Be the best version of yourself to attract the best woman. And you're going to have to use very, 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 very judicial discernment, which means like you have to like parse through them very carefully to find the right woman who like your guys' underlying moral values match. Because if you don't, it's going to be a headache or it's going to be really expensive. And yeah. Enjoying life and just, dilly-dallying ain't gonna make you the best version of yourself.
Just try to talk to each other like, it's just, okay, well, if you were to be, for example, right now, dating somebody, it will be really hard right now. Because a lot of people have lied. People are not ready for commitment. People are scared of commitment. And don't get me wrong, it comes a long way of that. It really does. You're tired?
I've been up, man. I've been up this whole time. Okay. Setting up, doing the whole shebang, man.
I'm sorry, honey. But yes, by the way, like that's another thing too, is that he's like my greatest supporter. You want somebody to be your greatest supporter. Like, he does all of this. I don't mess with lights. If the lights were to be breaking, like, I know how to fix that. But setting it up, no. Oh, God. I'm just so used to breaking stuff that I know how to fix it the best way that I can.
She knows how to put it gently. She knows how to paisa that shit. All right. She knows how to put things together in very odd, weird ways that
But it worked.
somehow work. I think honestly, Mexicans defy your basic laws of physics sometimes. But you know what? Far be it from me to criticize.
Yeah. As I told him, I was like, but yes, no, he knows how to do all this stuff. So that's another thing. You want to be with a woman that's gonna be your greatest fan, your biggest supporter.
Yes, you both have to be each other's biggest fans, biggest supporters, biggest fucking like down to ride partners in crime.
So whenever you have issues, talk to the person that you got with, not another person.
Yeah.
Because the other person could give you the advice, but how do you know that's going to be the right advice? And don't get me wrong, he's not always right, but
I'm always right.
not all the time.
Every time.
You wish. But we just try to do our best just to come in each other's agreement. That's all it is, you guys.
We do our best to meet each other where we're at, both. And so, yes, sometimes I'm wrong. Okay, sometimes I'm so wrong that I'm right. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we're at 27 minutes, so I think we can wrap it up right there.
Okay.
Alrighty. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Share this show with your friends or anybody who you think might benefit from a little bit of advice, even if it's half-assed advice today, because I am a little bit tired. She's a little bit tired, and it's been a while. It's been like a year since I've done anything like this.
You had a lot of changes happening.
Follow her on Rumble at The Executive Woman, right? Mm-hmm. The Executive Woman. Follow her on Rumble and follow her on Locals. Subscribe if you can. And she will have behind paywall content on Locals. It'll be locals.com / what the hell it's all about. You can find her there. Is there any other plugs that you think I need to do?
Yeah, I'll just say my Instagram, but I don't really even use that. But watch the reels.
Watch the reels?
Yeah.
I'm not making reels, bro. You gonna make these reels?
I know, but I'm just saying that's the only reason why I just watch other people's videos. I don't even put anything on my Instagram. So I'm like,
Oh yeah, no, you don't watch it. Okay. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Appreciate y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.